How's it going? Chef Hancock here. It's Artitude San Antonio, and today we're going to be talking about Dutchess potatoes. Just basically an upgraded version of a mashed potatoes, a nice little individual portion size. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our potatoes, already been washed, we're going to peel them up, we're going to put them in some water and cook them up. So peeling potatoes. Now I know I just have 2 potatoes here, it won't be that big of a mess, but if you think about what you're going to be doing in the industry, you might have to do a whole case of them. So what I always like to do is get a little bit of plastic wrap, put it over my board, get rid of that. Okay, and now I have a surface to put my peels on. So as I take my hand peeler and I'm peeling, I don't have to worry about making a giant mess. Tell you this, it seems a little silly, but it works really, really well. Okay, but now that I have this, all I have to do is go ahead and fold up my plastic wrap. Done. Just right in the trash can. If you have more, the local, go ahead and put 2 pieces down so it's a bigger piece. It's going to save you a lot of time on cleanup. Now my board's ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to take my potato. I'm just going to go ahead and cut these up. That says to quarter them. I'm just going to go ahead and get them in about life-size chunks. Okay, the important thing on here is the evenness of the potatoes, so they cook at the same time. You're not going to end up with potatoes that are, if I cut it right here, this potato is going to get cooked a lot faster than this potato. And we're going to get very wet mashed potatoes, or that's going to totally disintegrate. Into the pan. Already got some water in there. Covered. We'll go ahead and get the salt. And we're going to cook them until they're nice and fork tender. Just about done here. I am checking it. The recipe says to check with a knife. I find that a knife is sharp, so therefore it should go into a potato very easily. I actually like to use a metal spoon because it's blunt, and it'll give you a better idea of how soft it is. Now these are starting to break apart. I know the key thing is not to overcook it, but I'm going to put it through a ricer, and it needs to be soft enough it goes through the ricer and not stay in chunks, so it'll be nice and smooth. So I'm going to let that boil for 1 minute, and then we'll take it off the stove. All right, so they're a little bit nice and tender, a little bit more tender now. I'm gonna go drain them in the sink, and I'll move right back to the table. All right, as you can see, I got a nice strainer. It looks a little big, but I like this one because it can stand support by itself. I don't have to hold it and or possibly burn my hands. I'm gonna let that sit for just a second. I want all the excess water to drain off because I don't want runny potatoes. Same reason I didn't want to overcook them. And then what I can do, once they drain, put them back in the pan, and the residual heat from the pan is going to help dry off just a little bit of that as well. Come on back to the table. Okay, we're back. So we're going to go ahead and put it through the food mill. I'll go ahead and get a nice little bowl holder. Take my towel. I'm going to roll it up like this, form a circle. Got to put it in there like you're tying it, and then my bowl now won't move around. Okay. I have my food mill here, have it set up. I'm gonna put the potatoes through here. That way we get a nice smooth consistency all the way through. I don't have to worry about any chunks. And it's just round and round she goes. That looks like here. Going through here. Food mill, also can be known as a ricer, because it gets the food product like little pieces of rice. Now the trick with the food mills is you want to go clockwise to put the food through, but you also sometimes have to go counterclockwise to get it unstuck. right, and eventually everything goes pretty much through. If I didn't have the potato all the way cooked, it wouldn't go through there. It would be like little balls left in there, and it won't go through. That's why it's important to have it nice and soft. Okay, we're gonna get the last of this here. Okay. Now we have our mashed potatoes here. Okay, like I said, Dutchess potato, just an upgraded version of a mashed potato. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of butter. Okay, my 1.5 ounces of butter. Been out for a while, softened. Okay, that way it melts really easily. You can go ahead and throw that through the food mill as well if you'd like. You don't have to. And then I have 2 eggs. Plop those in. And I have my nutmeg. And I said about it, I'm gonna do a nice, good pinch. Nutmeg's one of those interesting spices. Some chefs love it, some chefs hate it. So make sure you know what your boss likes and they don't like. Sometimes you might have to omit it, okay? I'm also gonna go ahead and add a dash of white pepper. I want white pepper because it won't show. And a good sprinkle of salt. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this mixture up so it's all evenly distributed and my butter is fully melted. Okay, it's nice and mixed. So what I'm gonna do is it's gonna be time to put it in a piping bag. I have got here a piping bag, disposable. You can use a plastic one or a reusable one, it doesn't matter. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it over a couple inches here. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna unfold it most all the way. That way I have a nice good grip on it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I've got a fluted star tip piping tip. I like the fluted because it's going to give you a nice, good texture on it, as opposed to a round. It could resemble something that's not very likable to be eaten. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in there first. Very important to do that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hold this, and we're going to put it in the bag. Use your hand. You can squeeze off. Use it kind of like a rubber spatula. Put it into the bag here. It shouldn't stick too much. And I took my friend out, so it's kind of moving. That's okay. All right, I got it in the bag. Now, we want to make sure that we don't overfill the bag either. This is going to be the smaller portion. If you are making a large scale portion, you want to make sure don't fill the bag more than halfway. You lose a lot of control on it. Yes, it's more refilling, but in the long run, it's going to be your friend. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead. I need to cut this. So, okay, so now I need to cut this. I don't want to make sure it's going to be right here, so when I cut it right about here, it goes in there. So I'll pop that guy back up, use my little eyeballs, cut that right there. And make sure this guy goes here. Perfect. Okay. Then I want to squeeze out all of the excess air. Okay. Now put in here and I'm going to twist it. This is very important. It's going to hold that pressure into the potatoes, and I'm going to use my hand here. It's my dominant hand. So use your dominant hand and you're going to squeeze. That's how it's going to pipe out. Okay. Now I have my pan with parchment paper. I'm ready to pipe. You can pipe however you want. A lot of times you can go ahead and do nice little rosettes here. Okay. And these will not expand, so you can get them close. You do want to try and get them as even as possible. That comes with practice. After every time I'm piping, I am twisting the bag. If you need to choke up on it, that's okay. That way you always have that bag right in that sweet spot in your hand to help with piping. My other hand here is strictly to help guide this bag around. Get down to the last one. A little bit hard. There we go. Perfect. Now to help brown these up, what we're gonna do is get a little bit of clarified butter. And we're gonna brush these. I've already got some melted. I got my nice little brush. And what I'm doing is just going to lightly drizzle or brush it. If you brush too hard, you're going to go ahead and get rid of all that texture. So it's okay if you just drizzle it on there as well. If you don't want to use some butter, you can use a little bit of an egg wash. Just take an egg yolk. So now we just beat it up, just a little bit of water, and that'll help. The protein in the egg yolk will help brown it up just fine as well. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and throw these in the oven, about 400 degrees, and a couple minutes until they brown up. All right, let's check them out. We're getting there. Let's go ahead and pull them out. See what we're working with. They're looking real good. See a little bit of the brownness coming on the texture. If we didn't have the piping, the fluted tips, it'd be all smooth. We wouldn't get all that nice little texture. So we'll go ahead and scoop those off, put it onto a nice little plate. Here, and we have this here. And there you are. You have the Dutchess potatoes. If we had gone ahead and done the egg wash on, they probably would have browned up just a little bit faster. This one took about probably 10 minutes, and I did have to turn the oven up to about 500 degrees to get that in there. But it does work. Thank you. Have a great day.